Hello, everyone. It is Twin Flame Tuesdays, and I'm here with Gabrielle for her show, Twin Flame Tuesdays with Gabrielle. I'm
Hi.
I love Tuesdays, Gabrielle. It's my favorite day of the week because we get to play together.
I know. I know.
So, girl, we have one heck of a topic today.
Yeah, we do.
So, yeah, because you've had somebody circle around with a question that we've kind of hit on and we've
Mm,
kind of not hit on.
hmm
So we've talked about before that we can feel what's going on with our twin. And I know we talked about like if they're nervous, if they're sick, even we can feel that. Um, I know I've talked about the one person who can be sitting at her desk and she can feel if her twin gets anxious about
hmm
something. And it sometimes takes her a bit and she's like, what is this? I'm not anxious. And like Source just kind of, hey, silly, it's not you, it's the twin.
Yes.
And we send light and love to those situations. We send support, et cetera, et cetera. But that's kind of not what we're talking about today. So what are we talking about that we can feel that's going on with our twin that is not necessarily that they're anxious or that they're sick? So where are we going today, Gab?
Lead us there. Lead us there.
So intimacy, when they're having intimate thoughts that we can actually feel when our twin is, well, they're thinking about us in that way or they're thinking in that way.
hmm
So if we can feel that they are thinking intimate thoughts, that they are, oh, you froze again.
I did.
Oh, you're back. You're
Okay.
back.
Okay.
What
Okay.
a time to freeze on me,
I
girl.
know.
That
I
is not the time to freeze up. So, if we feel that the twin is having intimate thoughts, are we feeling like generic intimate thoughts, or are we connecting with them because their intimate thoughts are about us, or do we know?
know. Well, that comes from really just getting in tune with yourself and knowing your energies. The more you know your energies and the more you are able to, like, even like when you said when they're sick or they're anxious or something like that, the more you know what energy is yours and what energy is theirs, then you're able to decipher, well, look, this is my energy, this is theirs. So when they're having those intimate thoughts and stuff and feelings about you, it's a very, very strong feeling because it's being really projected towards you. It's like, I'm craving this person, I want this person, and stuff like that. So you will feel that same energy of that arousal and stuff like that as well.
Yes, the same person that sits at her desk and can feel when the twin is sick at their stomach also will be sitting at their desk and be like, why am I feeling like this? What? And be like, oh, so, and then looks at the time and will be like, they're probably given what their employment is and what they do, and the they must have been out late last night. They must be waking up about now. And it's like, of course, the smile comes to the face because then you're like, I know what they're thinking, and you want to think, and I know they're thinking about me, and it feels
Yeah,
good. But then you're like, well, yeah, okay, so
yeah,
so,
yeah,
so they're thinking about us, is
yeah.
what you're
They're
saying.
thinking, yeah, they're thinking about us. So, and that's a beautiful thing, even if you all are not in union or not, they still, the same pull that you have for them, they still have that same pull for you. And that's the beautiful thing about the twin flame union. It's still that energy signature of, I want this person. But even though you might be dealing with your own internal stuff, they're dealing with their own internal stuff. That's why you all are not in union, because y'all still have to work through some energies. Even though you might be doing the work, they might not be ready for that connection. That connection sometime, and especially for the masculine energy. I'm not saying male, because masculine can be in the same sex or
Right.
whatever. Especially for the masculine energy, that energy sometimes can be overpowering for them. It can be very overpowering. And that's what makes them usually run, because it's like, oh my God, this energy shakes my world. It does something to my world, but I love it. I love it, but it makes me feel safe, but not safe. Because it's like, what if I lose myself? The masculine energy is afraid to lose itself inside of the divine feminine energy. And that's because the masculine energy hasn't started walking in its divineness yet. Once that the energy switches to the divine state, that's when those energies can commingle because it's not one above the other. They both plug and play like a key, like a system, and that's how the energies interact with each other.
Well, and also as it was channeled to me, the integration, the reintegration of the energies, there is that concern, as you said, that fear of loss of self. And so there's almost like this primal level that is, they understand on a primal sense or an energetic sense, I'm going to reintegrate with this person. And some part of them is like, what does that mean? Do I lose me when I reintegrate? No, you gain another dimension of self when you do it. But until that is understood, it causes, as you say, it causes going in the other direction. It causes that this is not good, because the mind, the dimension of the mind is like, no, we're going to lose our identity. We're going to lose who we are.
The ego.
The ego. No, you're not losing anything. You are gaining you're gaining. It's exponential. You're gaining. But a lot of that is because we have done relationship. I'm talking about humanity. We have done relationships so dysfunctionally for so long. And not, again, I'm not labeling us bad. I'm not saying it that way. We've done it that way because of societal programming, because we didn't know, because of our level of consciousness as a collective. And as we come out of that, as we are growing and understanding more and more about how to do relationship, we can do relationship better. And so these energies, masculine or feminine, but although it is more the masculine energy that is feeling this, again, that's not a gender, that is an energy. They're legitimately feeling that because of this societal programming, and that doesn't make anybody having done anything wrong. That's just the programming we have been handed down. So they're legitimately triggered with, no, I can't lose myself to this person. I can't give into that. And so it becomes this freaking competition. It becomes this, I can't give into it. And the thing is, we know them so well. And so when we let on, or when they see, even if we are smart enough, even if we get wise enough to not say, I've figured this out, I know this, even when we are quiet, and they feel us just like we feel them. And so they sense, she sees right through me. And so it puts us in this competition mode. It puts us in this, I can't get close to her. She sees right through me. I can't get close to her. I'm going to lose myself. I'm going to, and because intimacy is so much more than sex, although it is great sex, it is so much more. So even though there is the arousal that you feel, it can also be that they are just having intimate thoughts about you too. It can be that. It can be that they're thinking about the warm, fuzzy stuff, about the fact that I just woke up and I wish I was holding her. I wish this. Of course, it's going to go on to other thoughts, most likely. But there is that too, And but that does scare them because it's a vulnerability, but that's societal programming. It's not really a vulnerability. When there's somebody who really does know you that well, that's a strength. When you can trust that person with that. And but all of that comes from having that safe space to communicate and being in mature, strong relationships, not the way we have previously done relationship. And so that's why we all have to do the growth to be in these strong relationships. And we can do that growth together, and which is what I advocate we should do, because I think that's how we quantum leap it, and we do it faster and better, et cetera, et cetera. But the person's got to be consciously aware of it to begin with first.
We can't force them to be consciously aware of it.
No, you can't. You can't beat them over the head. It makes me think of like the caveman days. Take like the big stick, beat them over the head, drag them into the cave, and say, "Okay, listen, this is how it is." But that is so. We can't do that because you don't make somebody consciously aware by doing that. You just can't do that. You have to patiently wait. Which is very hard, because then you start ruminating in your head. You're really strong one day, And oh, you froze again.
I
There
did.
you go. You're back.
Okay. Okay.
You're really strong one day or 1 minute, and then the next minute you're back ruminating in your head. There's something wrong with me. Why is this not happening yet? And when we do that, then that just delays things, correct?
Yeah, yeah, it does. It delays things. It delays things. It put those because we're putting that energy up. And that's with anything. We're putting that. It's like a hose, you know, when the water is flowing and things are flowing. But then when you start to get anxious about it and like, well, this isn't happening fast enough, or this isn't that, then you're like putting a kink inside of that hose, and so you're not letting the universe do what it needs to do. You're not letting your higher self, you all's higher self, do what it needs to do because you're putting this energetic hold on it. But when you release and you just trust in the process, you continue to work on yourself, continue to love yourself, continue to have sovereignty over yourself. And you know, like we said, we can't force them to do anything, but they will be doing their own. Their higher self knows exactly what they need to do. Their higher self will lead them, just like your higher self is leading you. Their higher self will lead them until the destination for you all in this lifetime is meant. If it's meant for you all to get back together, to get back together. You know what I mean? So you have to trust the process. You can't let that fear, that false evidence appearing real. You can't let the fear of, well, dang, they're not here. I know this, I feel this, but it's not any tangible evidence in this reality right now. So I'm gonna go into that fear and be like, oh no, this isn't happening. And as soon as it happens, you're putting the resistance there, the resistance band there.
So this gets into, we have to keep ourselves busy. We have to be busy with us. We have to be growing us, et cetera, et cetera. And they're growing them, et cetera, et cetera. Then here's where the problem comes in. And we've talked about this. Then finally, they reach out. They say hello. They call. They text. They do something. Oh, you froze again. Oh, there you're back. Okay. And so then we respond. So, but how much do we respond and how do we respond? Because we don't want to set that loop off again, but we don't want to ignore them, but we don't. And so it's got to do, we know, in part with how we react to the response and how much we react. And I mean, it all feels so fragile, Gabrielle.
Yeah,
it feels so freaking fragile. It feels like so I'm just not going to touch this because I'm going to break it. But it can't be that fragile. I mean, it can't be. So what's the answer here, girl?
Well, I mean that it just when they reach out, and you know, you might have been not in connection with each other, and they reach out and they feel but like we said before, they will feel when your energy is not focused on them. You know what I mean? You know, and that's actually what you need to be doing. You need to not be focusing your energy all on them, because all the energy that you're focusing on them and whatever else, you can be creating the life that you want for yourself. You can be going inside of yourself, healing, doing your self-healing journey and stuff like that. So when we focus all the energy on them, of course they're going to feel it. They feel the security of that blanket, like, okay, I'm doing whatever I'm doing, you know, and but I still feel her energy or feel his energy or whatever else. But when you started having sovereignty over yourself, and this is the beautiful thing of it, when you started having sovereignty over yourself, doing your own thing, you know, examining your own internal universe and stuff like that, and healing the wounds that you all have together and the wounds that you have yourself, then what that does, when they don't feel your energy so focused on them, that kind of puts their soul into a shock. It's like, I need to do something. This when you get the reach out call. I need to do something. What? I don't feel this energy anymore. I don't feel it. And it's not for us to be sitting on the other end like a puppy dog waiting for them to be like, okay, well, wow, okay. They feel that, you know, I'm not.
Hot giggity. They're patting me on the head. They'll scratch my belly. You know.
Yeah.
Here comes the Scooby snack.
No. So we're not supposed to be in the energy. We're supposed to be in the energy of ease. So if they come out and reach out or whatever, you know, you can communicate. It's not saying you, but don't be in that energy of just sitting there like I'm waiting for them or whatever. Don't be in the energy, because what you're doing, you're overfeeding, you're overgiving your energy to that situation, your twin or not, you know. And what you need to be doing is when they do reach out, act like you've been acting, doing what you've been doing. Don't let this, because they reach out, shake your internal guidance of what you've been doing, the self-healing work. Because what I see a lot is we'll be doing all this work, then they reach out. And we get in our heads again about this. Then the work we've been doing, we completely just kind of put it to the side and like, okay, I'm going to focus my attention over here. continue to focus your attention on you. When everything is in alignment, when they feel like this right here is kind of jolted their soul to be like, you know what, let me start working on myself. Let me start to seeing what's going on within me. And when you don't give that energy of too overexcited, too overly invested in them, they get them to start waking up doing their own thing as well. So continue to just have sovereignty over yourself. However the conversation ends up, it ends up. Don't overextend your hand of I'll do this and I don't do those things. You know what I mean? However it conversation comes out. When me and my twin got back together before he passed away, we had stopped talking for about a month. And so, you know, I had already said I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. You know, we stopped talking for a month.
Cannot do this anymore. Can't take this emotional roller coaster. Can't do
I know.
this
Not doing this anymore. And I remember when he did reach out. It was really kind of just the universe putting things into play. My friend girl needed her car fixed, and he was a mechanic. So she was like, "Can you call him?" And I'm like, "I'm not talking to him. I'll give you his number. I'm not gonna
calling him.
I'm not gonna call." So
do you know how hard I've worked at not calling him, and now you want me to call him?
You want me to call? Like, no, I'm not calling.
That's like I quit smoking. I'm not picking up that pack of cigarettes for you, girl.
No. and so make a long story short, I gave her the number. She called. They went out there, and of course, I went out there with her when they went to go get the car fixed or whatever. I did want to go. I had to dress cute and everything, you know.
I did. See, and put you in that energy.
Yeah, put me in that energy. And I did. But you know, when I was there, we really just kind of spoke. Just wasn't nothing else. We just kind of spoke or whatever, and we didn't get a chance to see each other.
And then you got in the car and you went, and damn, I got dressed up for that.
Well, no, I really did. I really felt, because I was doing my own self-healing confident work. I really felt good. I'm like, yeah, he saw what he didn't have anymore.
Yeah, he saw what he didn't have. Yeah.
Anymore.
And I'm dressed up. Now I'm going to go someplace else. Yeah. That's the energy to be in. Yes. Now I'm dressed up. Damn, I look good.
Yes.
He missed out. He should have said a whole lot more. I'm going someplace else.
Yes.
And see, but that's hard for me, because to me, that's all games.
Yeah.
And I'm not a game player.
Yeah.
So that's hard for me.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
And then after that, we ended up texting or something. It was just simple text like, "Hey, I didn't know you were coming," and stuff like that. You know, just simple dialogue or whatever. And that led up to actually us setting a date to hang out. And that actually led up to the death the accident that caused his death. They ended up to a date of us hanging out. I think it was like Memorial Day weekend, one of those holidays, one of those veterans, one of those. I get those confused all the time. But in May, which one is in May?
It's May. Memorial Day.
Okay, it was Memorial Day weekend. Okay. So we ended up hanging out. I think it was the weekend after Memorial Day weekend or something, and that was the accident that caused his death. And so, but everything happened the way it needed to. You know what I mean? Like the divine put me there to go there, even though I went there. Then we started communicating, and then we hung out that night with my friend, with the couple that we was hanging out with, and then we got back together that night. You know what I mean? And it was beautiful, because the energy wasn't I'm pining over you. You know what I mean? It was just like, I'm at peace. We're at peace with each other. And that was just the universe bringing us back together before he was going to pass away. It was just divinely orchestrated,
Yeah.
But it's just about just following the process, just letting it flow. Don't put your restrictions on it. Don't try to control the situation. Don't try to move it in your own direction. Just let the energies flow, because you all's higher self are one. So it's gonna guide you like it's guiding you. It's gonna guide him as well, So just trust the process of that.
Yeah, just I think stay busy doing your own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just stay busy doing your own stuff, and don't get overly in your head when they do reach out. I mean, when they reach out, you're gonna get excited. But before we knew all this stuff, you got excited.
Of course.
That's part of it too, is now everybody is so caught up in what's the energy of it and stuff, which we need to be. That is good. We need to take the information we have and use it, but also don't overthink it too.
Yeah.
I mean, we were all doing love and relationships before we knew what we were doing with love and relationships. And so we were doing them good and bad then. We're doing them good and bad now.
Yeah.
So just try not to overthink it,
Yeah.
but it is intense, and it is yeah, you haven't heard from them, you do hear from them. So yes, you're going to get excited. They're going to feel that. And so yes, maybe you do answer 3 times and you're excited or whatever. Then just go back into your energy, go back into center, fall back into, and no, you didn't break the universe when you did that. That's, I never forget the day that I was meditating and I got, you really can't break the universe. And I'm like, and I'll never forget, I stopped and I was like, I'm not so sure about that. And I get, no, you really can't break the universe. I'm like, I was arguing. I'm like, I'm really not so sure, because that's really how heavy all of this was feeling to me. It was feeling like I can break I can break everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once I realized how powerful we are,
Uh-huh.
and by powerful meaning our thoughts,
Yeah.
what we're doing, twin flame, not twin flame, all
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna break everything,
Yeah. Yeah.
by
Yeah.
not thinking the right
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but the truth of the matter is, Gabrielle, that goes back to what my original wounds are, is because I've always been that hard on myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so then I just took all those things that I'd always been that hard on myself, and then I just applied it to me and the universe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so the universe was like, no, you can't
Yeah.
break the universe. And I'm like, I'm not so sure about that.
And that goes to those self conversation with yourself.
It does.
That goes to the relationship with yourself. The
It
twin
does.
flame relationship is to show you who you are at your core.
Right.
It's for you to awaken to your true divine essence at your core. So that goes back to those wounds that, like you just got finished saying, to heal those wounds, to address, to look at them,
Right.
like, you know what? I have to have a sovereignty over myself. I have to look at, this is a pattern. This is a wound that I've beat myself up a lot. Let me not do this. Let me get into this other energy of knowing myself, of trusting myself, trusting the process, Yeah. So this is what it's really about.
Yeah, because I'm truly am that hard on myself. It's like, if I don't get that right, how much am I going to mess up?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
how many people?
Yeah.
And so that's where I was at with everything. And so so I can see where in that kind of situation I would be, oh my God, so do I message back? Do I say something?
Yeah.
How much do I say? I'm going to break everything.
Yeah.
That's the energy.
Yeah.
I could see myself falling into that energy.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break it. That would be me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna break it. So okay. But it is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Twins can feel when the other twin is getting all up in their head and in their body about them. When they're feeling sexually aroused for them. Now there's a flip side to it, though, and this was what the question was really about. And boy, do I not want to go here, but here we go. What about when the twin is seeing other people and they're with someone else and you can feel that?
Yeah. That is a tough one, because you know that you all have this connection. You know that you all are twins. You know all these different aspects. You feel it. You feel you even feel when they are getting aroused, when they are with someone else, you feel that. And that's when it comes back to us. That's when it comes back to us not getting caught up in our head, because we can't control them, like they can't control us. So regardless if they are sleeping around or doing whatever, they're living their life, living their best life, doing whatever. And you're doing this and you're doing your healing part, and you're working on yourself. Is to not get caught up in those energies of what you feel. If you know that he's sleeping around with someone else, don't let that break your internal peace. Don't let that break your internal gauge, because what is really happening is, even though it looks like the energy is direct, it's like, oh my God, how is he or she doing this to me? Like, we are twins. Like, how are you giving your energy to someone else? They are on their own journey too. They are trying to figure out who they are. This energy scares them. They want to dabble their feet. It's like a kind of like a child energy, like screaming, like, no, I don't want to go this way. I know this way is right, but I don't want to go this way. It feels, So they're doing their own internal searching too. So by them being with other people, they're doing their own internal searching. They're trying to figure out, well, dang, I know this connection doesn't feel like this connection, So we can't get in our heads. We can't let the intimacy that they're having with someone else break our internal core. When my twin was here, at the end of our relationship before we broke up, he actually ended up cheating on me and ended up getting with his soulmate. And back then I was in my ego. I wasn't spiritual or none of this. So, I was really in my ego. So, I let all that get to me. I let all that, that got to me. And after the fact, when I can sit back and look at it, look in hindsight now, whatever, it was a beautiful thing. He met that other soulmate for a reason. Like Gabrielle couldn't be in a relationship and learn how to love on me. You know what I mean? Because I would give too much of myself to the partner. So I had to be in the relationship with myself to learn how to love myself. So I won't overextend my energy to my twin or anyone else. So I had to do that. His soulmate that he met taught him how to love, taught him how to love himself. So when I'm looking back at it in hindsight and everything, the downloads and everything that he's channeled to me and we talked about since he's passed away, I'm like, it was really a beautiful thing. Now, after he passed away, I had went through this whole rage part. I was so excited. I'm like, you really did this to me. Like, I had to let all those energies and rage go, had to feel those emotions and let them go. But when I look at it with my higher self and my higher viewpoint, his soulmate is my soulmate too. You know what I mean? So, it was a reason why she got in his life and those energies had to enter and had to mingle, because it was a lesson for both of them there. It was a lesson, not even just for him, for both of them there. And so it's a beautiful process, but we can't lose ourselves in the energy of whether they're with a soulmate or karmic mate or whatever they're doing. We can't lose our energy into whatever they're doing. Continue to focus on you, what you're supposed to be doing, the energy you're supposed to be doing, working on yourself. Don't let this feeling of, I feel them giving their energy to someone else, take you and drag you through the ringer, and and you want to drink or you want to do whatever else. Don't let that happen, baby. You have to learn how to have sovereignty over yourself. This whole thing is learning yourself. The whole energy of twin, the whole energy of being here, mixing with any energies, is about having sovereignty over yourself. So this is really what it's about.
Yeah, there's a lot in there.
Yeah.
One, it's not about you. The fact that they are going to bed with someone else is not about you. So you can't take it personally, like you are not enough.
Yeah.
You can't take it that way.
Yeah.
Two, you can't decide to go get even and, well, tit for tat. That's not the way. Now, if that's truly what you want to do, but don't go do it because it's tit for tat.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you don't have the right to have it. I'm just saying don't do it for that reason.
Yeah, for the energy behind it. Yeah.
Don't do it for, well, if they're doing it, I'm going to do it. That's not the right reason at all.
Yeah.
Another thing is, if they're experiencing that and they're finding out, hold on, maybe I enjoyed this, but still it's not the same.
Yeah.
So they have to have those experiences to find out. I can, you've been looking for love all around the world. When you're going to figure out that, it's right here.
Right in front of you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right in front of you. And so, but they're not going to figure it out until they figure it out. And so, again, that's not about you. It's, they'll circle back because you are who you are to them, and they are who they are to you.
Yeah.
The hard part is that it's not even, it's one thing back in the day when we just knew that, okay, I know they've slept with somebody else. That's one thing. When you feel it physically.
Yeah.
And I guess the only comfort we can take in it is we are divided enough that the only reason we're feeling it physically is because they cannot not think about us when they're with that person.
Yeah.
Because if they were truly focused on that person, we would not get the vibrational hit. We don't just feel that they're aroused or that they're sick or whatever. Whenever that twin is nervous, there's some part of them, whether it's higher self or whatever, that reaches out
for the comfort,
the home.
Yeah.
And I need that person, because that person is home to me. And that's why that other person feels when they're nervous or when they're anxious or whatever, and so if they're with somebody else and you feel it, I understand. I know, and I get it. And I get you want to Well, sometimes you want to throw up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you want to throw things.
Yeah. Yeah.
and sometimes you want to throw them.
Yeah.
But try to go to the place of, well, they may be there, but they're not there. They're with you.
Yeah.
And try to take comfort in that.
Yeah.
And then detach from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Detach from
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, look at yourself in the mirror and pat yourself on the back if you have to. If you have to pull yourself out of it, and you know what? They may be with somebody else. They're with me. They're not with that person. If that's what it takes to pull yourself out of the hurt you're feeling, because you're going to feel some hurt. But then when you've done that, pull back to the fact that none of that was about me, and then get back to your life. And don't beat yourself up. You didn't break the universe because you had that moment.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing we can't do, is we can't deny ourselves those moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's when we've gone too far. We are so into this, I've got to be in control and I've got to be sovereign over self, et cetera, et cetera. But when we deny ourselves what we're really feeling, when we don't process those feelings,
those emotions,
then we've gone too far that way.
Yeah.
We are still having emotional experiences. We still have to process those emotions.
Yeah.
So that's almost like in religion when you're holier than thou.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The analogy makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
You have to, and it's all about holding space for yourself. That's with the twin flame journey. That's when anything that you're doing, if you're on a twin flame journey or not, you have to. It's a balance. Everything in this reality is a balance.
Yeah.
You go one way this way, you're going too far. You go one way this way, you're going too far. So having sovereignty over yourself, but then when you have those emotions that come up, when you have that pain, when you feel your twin with someone else or whatever is going on, is sitting there with those emotions and not judging them, not hating that you're feeling this way. It's really just about loving yourself at the place that you are, holding space for you to feel those, let you feel it, and process those emotions. And because when you don't feel those emotions, you bury those emotions. And when you bury those emotions, like we know, emotions are energy and motion. They're supposed to move. When you bury those emotions, they will start churning, and then until they just boil up, until they have to escape. And that's why we have so much turmoil, sickness, and everything else, because we've buried these emotions for so long. So feel those emotions, let them flow through you like water, in the river or the ocean. Let them flow through you like a wave. Let that wave, let the energy flow through you, and just hold space for yourself and say, you know what? I am still perfectly fine. I am still okay.
I'm still okay.
I'm still my beautiful, majestic self. Whatever self-love talk you need to do, I'm still that person. And if you don't have any self-love talk and you don't love yourself, this is what you need to start looking into. Because the more that you love yourself, the more you can hold space for yourself. When you're going through the emotions with your twin, when you're going through the emotions of this reality might be looking like it's taking you through the ringer, when you learn how to hold space for yourself and wherever you are in your journey, that's where the true beauty is.
And so like I said, like you teach mirror work. I think that's one of those good times to go to the mirror and look at yourself and be like, just admit, okay, I know what I'm feeling. I don't like it. But also be honest with who would, what man or woman would. What man or woman would want to feel that the person that they want to be with is with somebody else. So I'm normal, I'm human, but look at me, I'm not broken. I'm not falling apart. I'm a little miffed. I'm a little put out. I'm a little but all of it's normal. I'm not overreacting. I'm not underreacting. I'm letting myself react. And pat myself on the back, loving myself. And now I'm going to go and I'm going to go do me. And when I hear from that person, I'm not going to lash out. I'm not going to be ugly. I'm not going to ignore their messages. I'm just going to act like I don't know anything, because that's the right thing to do. Because they're still, we're not a couple. We're not, I have no right to say anything.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing. Because I talked in the very beginning about how, and you did, about how we scare them off.
Yeah.
So imagine if you say, so, yeah, good to hear from you. I felt everything you did yesterday. I even know that you couldn't without thinking about me. You talk about scaring them off.
Yeah, I know. They're like, I can't even have my own privacy. Look, I really done lost myself.
Yeah, I'm really lost. Yeah.
Really makes them want to run even further.
Yeah. So you can't admit that to them.
Yeah.
So, but then on the other hand, some part of them probably knows. Some part of them, because some part of them.
They do, because the prime example I would give you, when me and my twin had broken up and I had started, dating other people and stuff like that. Every time, like, I wasn't even sleeping around. I was just dating other people, getting my toes wet, feeling the energies. Every time I would be on a date or something, here he comes texting. And I'm like, I can't even enjoy myself without, because he felt the pull that I was interacting with someone else. I was, entertaining someone else. So here comes his energy. Like, what are you doing? Like no.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing anything you need to know about.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with you.
I know, it's nothing to do with you. So so they feel the exact same thing you're feeling. Yeah,
they do. Yeah, and it's it's just to what degree.
To what degree?
So one has gone to bed with someone else, and one is just having a conversation with someone, so they're not. It's Friday night and they're not by themselves all the time, and so it's just to what degree, but you do feel it, So it is. The hard part of all of it is how long all of it takes.
Yeah.
That's the hard part, because unfortunately, as the people in your group know, life is short, or can be.
Yeah.
We're just transition, so it's really not. Life never ends.
Yeah, it never ends.
Different dimensions, different realities, different. But at the same time, we're in this tactile experience to experience the tactile together, and so there is that bittersweet. There's the truth of, okay, if we don't hear, we do have forever, because we are twins. But at the same time, we want all the time with them that we can get. And it's like, do you not see how much time you're wasting? And so there's that's the part. And so for those whose twin has transitioned, or, and hear us talking about this, do you have any words for them? Because some of them may be here and they may be triggered by what we're saying. So do you have any words for them?
Well, and I will. Another thing too, after my twin passed away, one topic I don't think we've really talked about. Me and you talked about.
Yeah.
But we haven't talked about on this channel. Another thing too, because I've had people that says this, and I know from my own personal experience as well. You can still get sexually aroused by your twin even when they're on the other side. You can still get sexually aroused. I remember after my twin passed away, and I started communicating with him and stuff like that, and I would call it spirit sex or whatever.
Yeah, on the astral plane, and it's all over YouTube. Yeah. It's all over YouTube. Just go to YouTube. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah. But I would feel like this energy surge within myself, and legitimately, like, my body is like orgasming, and I felt his energy signature. You know what I mean? So I mean, that can happen as well. I've had several twins in the group that have experienced that as well. I've experienced it myself, and they've asked me questions about that. So don't be surprised if that ever happens to you and your twin has passed away. And it's really even more mind blowing actually than the physical sex, if you want to get serious. And the reason why I say that is because you're trusting this energy, you're trusting this process, you know what this energy is, and you only have this one ego, which is the person that's still your ego. And it's really more, not to get so graphic, mind-blowing, more orgasmic in a way.
No pun intended there.
No pun intended there.
Or puns. There's all kinds of puns. No puns intended there.
No puns intended there. Then actually Sometimes the physical, we can be in our head about stuff. We can be worried about bills. We can be, when we're in an intimate setting with our twin or not twin, our mind can go different places, and you're not always there. But usually when you're in that situation, you're there. So don't let this conversation trigger you, because even though your twin is not physically here anymore, you can still have those intimate connections if that's what you're craving. But it's not even, this journey isn't about, we get so caught up in the intimacy of it. This journey isn't just about the intimacy of it. We came here for a bigger reason, a bigger purpose. And the intimacy of it is beautiful. It connects you. It gets you to understand more about yourself. It wakens up that Kundalini energy, all that beautiful orgasmic stuff. But that Kundalini energy is about awareness. It's about knowing yourself, your connection to the universe. It's about bringing those energies in and creating this world that we came here to create, this heaven on earth, to raise the vibration of this planet. So this is what we're here to do. This intimacy part of it is a beautiful thing, a beautiful magic of it. But our main mission here is to raise the collective consciousness. Is to raise us out of this darkness that we've been in for so long, and to raise the vibration, because Mother Earth is moving. Her energy is raising. We got to get on board with this as well. So she birthed us into this reality so we can help bring in the energies of the collective along with us. So yes, so this is really what it's about.
It is something you said though. Let me see if I can circle back to it, because you said a lot of stuff there. Yeah. You talked about the fact that you can have orgasms because of them. Experiencing when they're alive too. And you can have orgasms that way too. And let's go ahead and go there. There's experiencing the orgasm because they're thinking about you and they're alone, and then realizing that you've experienced an orgasm and they're thinking about you and they're with someone else. That's one that'll make you sick at your stomach. That's one that will get to you. That's one that's troubling. And there again, you have to own your own emotions. You have to have your own self-confidence. And there again, you have to go back to, this is not about me. And you have to be and just have the self-confidence to, well, okay, that was good for me, and just let it go, because you didn't choose to be with somebody else, because it can get in your head. That can be like I was just in a situation that I would never be, that can get all and so you cannot allow that to happen.
The mind to go
wild. The mind can take you to all kinds of places with that. When you suddenly realize, hold on a second, that can go all kinds of places. Just like if you let yourself think about, my twin has passed and I was just with my twin, that can get twisted for some people. So you can't let that happen either.
Yes. No, you can get lost, and that's another thing too. A lot of people, like, after their twin has passed away, they get lost and stuck. Even when, and we talked about that in, I think, another episode.
We did.
Even when, they are communicating and stuff like that, and they can get lost and stuck because they're just trying to focus. They're detaching from this physical reality. And it's like, I don't want to be, because I was the exact same way. I don't want to be here anymore. I wasn't suicidal or anything, but I just really didn't want to be here anymore. I had my oldest son, and I love my oldest son to death, but the energy felt like home. And I'm like, I'm ready to go home, back to home.
Where my energy, what matched me, where I felt,
And we can't get lost up in there, because we're still living out this blueprint as well. Even though our twin is not physically here anymore, we're still here to live out the blueprint, to raise the consciousness. And even though they're not physically here anymore, their energy is still with us. The energy is helping us to guide us through this process of whatever we're doing, however we're showing up in this environment, however we're bringing change into this world. The energy is there to support us, to guide us, and help us. Like when I do readings and everything, that's why my company's named Two Souls in One. You're connecting with me and my twin, and I have my whole spiritual team comes around, and we connect, and I get the information and channel the information and give the readings out. And so, but you can't get lost up in just trying to just focus on them, because what would happen, like it has happened for many twins, like it happened for me, they will pull their energy because they feel like you're too focused on just trying to talk to them, work with them, when this isn't what it's about. I'm showing you that we're connected. I'm showing you that it's bigger to this arena, but you have more work here to do. And I'm here helping you along this journey. And I remember when my twin, I used to see him all the time. Like when my third eye. I used to always see him. Every time I would close my eyes, I would just see him. And I'm like, okay, there you go. Then it got less and less. It was like I'm looking in the dimensions. Like, where are you? You're not there. I don't see you. And then to a point that he just legitimately stopped materializing in that dimension for me to see him, because I was so focused on, this is all I want. I'm just going to focus on him, nothing else. And he was trying to show me, no, you can communicate with angels. You can communicate with everything else. Why are you just focusing on me? We got other work to do. And if I would have stayed in that energy of just focusing on him, if he wouldn't have pulled the energy away from me, then I would have done the internal work and started digging up more, started learning more about my abilities, more about how I can communicate with other spirits and stuff like that. And that's the beautiful part of this journey. We're here. So many other twins that I talked to that are on that have came to this realization. They work with their twins like I work with my twin. And
Right.
so it's a beautiful journey. We're living out the other aspect of it to raise and see and to show the collective that even though our twin is passed, we're still connected. Your twin doesn't leave you even when they pass away. You still have work to do, and they're here helping you along this journey with that work. So it's still beautiful.
Yeah, and something that I channeled for someone the other night, actually, who's twin flame, and was talking to me about twin flame. It was kind of a bittersweet thing, but it was helpful to the person. Is, they don't know what's going to happen with the connection. They know there's a friendship there. They
Yeah.
don't know what's going to happen with the connection, and they came to the realization, and they weren't able to articulate it. They were feeling it, but they weren't able to articulate it. And so I picked up on the energy, and I said, so you feel this person all the time, and you know you're going to feel this person eternally. You're when you're in other dimensions and your other dimensional aspects of self, you're constantly together all the time. So I know you want to be together in this life, and I know you see the potential and the exponentiality. I know all of that, but I know you've come to this place of peace that if it doesn't happen, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I see that in you, and I see that that's a calmness you've come to.
Yeah.
But there is a sadness too. I mean, there's a disappointment. But I mean, we get disappointed about lots of things. Many things, because we don't control everything.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that we don't always control.
Yeah.
So whether they're here and we've lost them,
Yeah.
we haven't really lost them, just as if they cross over, if they've transitioned and we've lost them, we haven't really lost them. And so it is a matter of, if you're feeling them sexually, whether you're feeling them sexually and they're here, or you're feeling them sexually and they're on the other side, and you're wondering, am I feeling them sexually? If you're wondering it, then yes, you are. If you're wondering, yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
And that's okay. So that's another thing too, is don't feel bad about yourself if that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Because we get to, we are energy, and we are energy in motion.
Yeah.
Sexual energy is emotional energy. It is also a physical energy. It is a healthy energy. So we don't need to feel badly about ourselves.
No. And that goes to just about sex in general. That goes to in the collective consciousness. We've wrapped so many wounds around the sexual energy in general. And we're unpacking those energies now. We're seeing that because in the dogmas, like, you have to be married before you have sex. You have to do this, and sex is bad, and a woman can't do this, and all these different programs that are in our collective consciousness. When sex is really a beautiful energy. It's an energy of creation. We bring life from other dimensions into this reality with that energy.
Right.
It's in your sacral chakra, your creative energy for you to birth projects.
That is where your manifesting is.
Manifesting is
that same chakra.
We manifest
everything from there.
Yes. Yeah. And a lot of times I want to get a little bit into that chakra energy because of the wounds we have in our collective consciousness around the sexual energy. A lot of us have a lot of packed energy into this sacral chakra energy.
Yes.
A lot of this energy, because we have these programs of like, well, we can't express ourselves. We can't be this way. Especially as women, we've been taught for so long to not shine our light, to be little good girls, to not dress this way. Like my one of my godchildren. Well, she's really not my godchild, but anyway, but she was telling me how school, and I remember when I was in school, when, you can't even wear certain things because as a female, you might arouse a guy. Like, really, like, he didn't have his own sovereignty over myself. I should be able to wear, they can wear whatever. I should
Like
be
he
able to
doesn't
wear.
get aroused anyway.
That's what I'm saying. I should be able to wear what I want to wear. It's just so ingrained into our collective that, this energy is a bad energy. It's like, no, it's a sacred energy. Yes, it's very sacred, but it's not a bad energy. You have to know how to work within that with the energy, because that's the energy that creates things, that creates your whatever you're manifesting in this reality.
Yes. Yeah. And it is such a powerful energy that some of your biggest gurus will even teach that
Yeah.
if you're doing a big business deal, or well, like athletes, if
Yeah.
you don't use your sexual energy in the mornings if you've
Yeah.
got a big business deal, or if you've
Yeah.
got a big game or whatever,
Yeah.
because that energy, because it's all the same.
Yeah. All the same. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same energy.
Yeah.
So, as pleasurable as it may be,
Yeah.
don't fragment your energy
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
Because you can still enjoy, you can put the bulk of that energy, the best of that energy into manifesting your life, and still have very pleasurable sex later in the day.
Yeah.
Is the
Yeah.
point,
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but we don't talk about those things in polite society,
Yeah.
when it's like, seriously, it's just like everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time, everybody goes to the bathroom, all of that stuff. Well, I would say for the most part, everybody has sex too.
Yeah.
So we need to just say it.
Yeah.
We just need to say it.
Just say it, yeah. And that goes into the sex magic, when we talked about the sex magic.
Sex magic, yeah.
Goes back into that. You can take that creative energy and manifest things into your life. You can take whether if you're doing it consciously with a partner and you all are intermingling, twin flame or not, you go out as intermingling your energy to create a new life for you guys. Or if you're doing it by yourself, your own pleasuring yourself and using that energy to boost up whatever it is that you're manifesting, whatever it is that you're creating in your reality. So it's a very powerful energy. Just think about it. That energy brings life into this reality.
Well, I actually, back to that, the sex energy for one thing. I had somebody reach out to me to tell me, oh my God, you're right. That whole pulling the energy up through the oh my God. I mean, so I had somebody reach out and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
So somebody reached out to say that to me. But the other thing, so somebody reached out to let me know how right we were.
Yeah.
But so I thought that was funny. It was not
cool.
funny. I'm not making fun. But it was, I was thrilled that they felt comfortable enough reaching out to tell me that. I had not shared that with you.
Yeah.
So, a Zoom call to let me know. It was literally looking me in the eye going, oh my God. I'm like, I love what I do.
Yeah, me too.
I love what I do.
Yeah.
But the other thing is too about sexual energy, and this kind of gets off on the other things I teach, but there may be people here who could learn from it. Is because of the chronic pain and invisible illness world, I've dealt a lot with women who suffer from vulvodynia and those type issues, which you've had fibromyalgia, so you know what I'm talking about. Many women with fibromyalgia have vulvodynia, vaginal pain, and they have no idea why. And that can often lead many end up with a pudendal nerve pain as well. And especially for these twin flame women who have lost their twin and think they don't want to go on with life. I have friends who are older and not sexually active and that type thing, and especially those who have had vulvodynia or issues in the past. The issues are coming back and the issues are worse because they are not sexually active. And so you need to take that into consideration. If you are not being sexually active, if you're not enjoying your body, if you're not doing those things, it can lead to physical disorders. Those parts of our bodies are meant to be used for us to be healthy. We don't say that as a society. And
but even science says how good sex is, the benefits of it, and how, even science says that you can look that up anywhere,
But we don't say that to women.
And
so if it's because you aren't in union with your twin and they're here, or if it's because your twin has passed, if it's whatever your
Mhm.
reason is, I deal a lot with that. I still have fibro people reach out to me because I did the because I had the laser treatments back in 18, I guess it was, or 19,
Mhm.
for the vulvodynia, and you're
Mhm.
supposed to have the laser treatments like yearly,
Mhm.
and I've not been able to do that,
Yeah.
and I'm going to have the laser treatments
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
and I talk about them openly because I
Mhm.
want people to be aware that those
Yeah.
treatments are out there.
Yeah.
And we are very lucky that we have them here in our area because
Mhm.
I moved to an area that you would have thought would have had. I moved out on the West Coast. You would have thought they would
Mhm.
have had. No, right
Oh
here,
wow.
right here in Mississippi, we had
Oh wow.
advanced
Mhm.
stuff compared to what they had out west.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but there's so many people who don't know about the fact that
Mhm.
we have all these treatments for these things.
Mhm.
We have great pudendal nerve care
Mhm.
here
Mhm.
that we don't have in other places.
Mhm.
So, sexual issues from not being sexually active
Mhm.
do happen. So
Mhm.
don't let, and because I know so many twin flame people who are talking to me that they're either one way or the other. They're
Yeah.
either hypersexual because they're so just freaking fed up with all of this.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
like I'm tired of being judged. I'm tired of
Mhm.
being alone. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. And so
Mhm.
they've gone the other way.
Uh-huh.
And so I've got them, and I'm not, I don't care what my family thinks about it.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then I've got the others who reach out to me and they're like, I haven't been with anybody in 9 years,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
And so then I'm talking to them about this stuff because I
Yeah.
know people with pudendal nerve pain. I know people with my situation,
Mhm.
and you can't go that route either.
Yeah.
It's not healthy because
Mhm.
you end up in the end with bad situations from
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
So there are health concerns
Mhm.
with not being sexually active.
Mhm.
Health
Mhm.
concerns with being sexually active,
Yeah.
health concerns with not being sexually active.
Yeah.
As we talked about earlier, it's all about balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
all right, girl, we have only like 4 minutes left. So what do
Yeah.
we need to talk about here at the end? What do you got going on?
I have my coaching program, the Blueprint for Walking into Your Power. If you're interested in that program, we go over a lot of shadow work. We go through a lot of deep healing, trauma, wound work. And I know this isn't really for the twin flame community, but I mean it's the same exact same thing. It could be for the twin flame community. But that's one of my services. I do have a one-on-one coaching session for twin flames now available on my website as well. So I will leave that link in the bio as well. I'm still technically in the competition. Nobody can vote right now, but they're getting ready to see who all made it to the last round, and then they're gonna be the people they're judging our content now. So I'm just study putting good content out there.
We
Content
need to keep making you go viral. We need to keep
yes,
making you go
I
viral.
know, I know. And so actually the platform on TikTok has grown to 23 point I think 6K followers, and I don't like saying followers because I said we're all leaders, so 23.6K leaders. But yeah, and so I mean I just have a lot. It's a lot. The link will be in the bio if you want to reach out to me to have a twin flame session or any kind of love reading from me as well. The link is in the bio, but that's the services that I offer. And then as far as one-on-one spiritual mindset coaching to help you rewire your unconscious mind and uproot trauma and wounds and stuff like that. So yeah.
Awesome. And yes, and I love logging on when you're on TikTok doing the live stuff too. Yeah. And I haven't caught anything this week.
Okay, well, okay. Well, I went live Sunday, so I'm gonna start going live every Sunday if I don't have any plans for anything else. I'm gonna start going live every Sunday on TikTok at 10 a.m. Central. And it'll be whatever topic. It's a free coaching session for a TikTok. Whatever topic Spirit gives me to talk about that day. Plus, I do 11 read, like 2-card reads or whatever, as well. So I'm gonna start doing that every Sunday.
Cool. At 10 o'clock.
Yeah, 10 o'clock
Central
Central.
Time. 10 o'clock
A.M.
Central
Central.
Time.
Uh-huh.
All right, folks. Y'all heard that. Well, we're still looking for authors for the compilation book, of course. And of course, I'm starting a nonprofit, which I'm so freaking excited about. I'm very excited, which I wanted to do earlier in the year and just was not able to get any traction with it. And so my son and I talked about it, and he's like, well, Mom, I think the fact nobody's getting back to you, you just need to do it yourself. And
yeah.
So, but I actually did find a group that's actually helping. And so yeah, so the nonprofit will be up and going, but So that's going on, and of course, my mom's flying in this weekend, so
Yeah.
that's she's going to be here for a couple of weeks. So she'll probably chime in next Twin Flame
Yeah.
Tuesday. So there's no telling what Mama will say. We should
That's
have done
okay.
this episode with Mama here. We'll have to revisit the topic. She'll chime in.
Yeah, that's okay.
And so, everyone, we are so glad that you were with us. Please get your questions into us because we love addressing what it is that you want to hear and not what we think you want to hear. Although we're pretty good at figuring out what you want to hear, but we love addressing what you want to hear. And so, Gabrielle, take us out.
Peace and love and mess for the flame in my spirit, guys. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.